Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the press conference after the BKT EuroCup round 3 game between Twinsbet Vilnius and Ratiopharm Ulm. We will start with the head coach of Ratiopharm Ulm, Mr. Ty Harrison. So, coach, please, your comment about the game.
After a really slow start, I was proud of how we responded out of the timeout in the first quarter to get back into the game. And then down the stretch, great defense, offensive execution. Had an injury, had some foul trouble, but just really proud of our team's execution and to travel here and come out with a win.
Questions, please.
You are so far undefeated both in the EuroCup and the German League. What have you been doing right, winning all those close games?
I don't know. It's basketball is a funny game, I guess, in some way. We tell the players hard work pays off, and I think there's a little bit to that. Perhaps sometimes when the games are really close, there's some in-game strategy that I feel like we're executing well right now this season. The players have adapted quickly because I'm new to Ulm, and it's a totally new roster. I didn't bring any assistant coaches or anything, but we have good core group of players returning. Obviously, Jessup tonight was really fantastic. And he's a returning import player, but I think somewhere in there there's a strong belief. We had a tough preseason. We lost most of our games in the preseason, and we learned from that, and now things seem to be clicking.
The squad that played today was an average of just 23 years old. What have you been trying to drill in them throughout this last period, the preseason and the start of the season?
Well, there's a lot more teaching involved than maybe what I expected. And when you have an older team, or if you return for multiple years and you have players who come back and play with you, then they kind of know the system and they can help coach and teach the team. But we're teaching a lot of basketball, a lot of philosophy. Fortunately, our guys have a high IQ and they want to learn and they're absorbing it. So. We know that we're a very young team. One of our players was sick last night and this morning, or we would have had another 21-year-old Brazilian player. Marcio was sick today, so that was unfortunate. But we're just teaching basketball. We're enjoying life, and we know that it's the start of the season, and it's a really long season. But so far, fantastic start.
You talked about those sudden tactic changes throughout the games, and we saw your kind of sudden zone pressing in the fourth quarter. Was that something? Is that one of the things in your arsenal? Just keep the opponent ready at all times.
Yes, I think so. I think I've been really fortunate in my career. Everywhere I've been, I coached in Australia. I coached college basketball in the States. I came back to Germany to coach professional again. I've somehow been fortunate to put good people around me. Or have good people around me, and I think that's helped my success as a coach. But tactically, yes, that's something that we have in our arsenal. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. If they break the press and they get a fast break, then I look like an idiot as a coach. But in that situation, maybe we caught them a little bit off guard, and we got a steal. I think we still didn't get a score out of the play, but it was good for our momentum.
And now looking at the present and the future, we have 5 away games in a row, both in the EuroCup and the German League. Mm-hmm. What accent do you put towards your players throughout this period, throughout those 2 weeks?
I've always been really big on everything. Everything in life is one day at a time. It's one game at a time. It's one possession at a time. We can't get caught up in if you count today, it's 6 away games. We can't get caught up in that and think, oh, that's so difficult that we can't do it. We just have to show up on the day, be ready to play, which maybe we weren't today in the first quarter. That's all we can do. And we don't know if the streak continues or if it ends next game. But we play each game and each possession as it comes. That's all we can do.
Hey, Coach. After the game, you gave a nice TV to the TV. You gave a nice speech after 4 years ago. You lost the job and came to see Ryto Žalgiris in Vilnius, and now you're happy being not on the sidelines but happy coaching. can you tell the story why you came into the Lithuania, why you came to see the derby and
Yeah. Sure. I left my job in the States. I was a college basketball coach. I'd done it for 6 seasons. I felt like with budget and all the things that come with college basketball and some changes that happened, I basically felt like I had done everything that I could do. So I kind of maxed out what I was able to do there. But I left my job on my own choice after being very successful. And why I have that, I had a Lithuanian player named Rokas Mazionis who was very good for us. He's from, I hope I'm not saying the city's wrong, but Palanga, is that right? Okay. But small college basketball. And then the story is, I had a former teammate who lives here in Vilnius and played against some guys who had played college basketball back in the early 2000s. And I always promised that I would come visit Lithuania. And I know that it's a great basketball country because in the early 2000s, all of the success with the national team. So I told my friend, someday I'm going to come. And then when you're playing and you're coaching, you don't find that time. And I was able to find the time because I didn't have a job. And I came over and I think in some way my friends were trying to help me find a job, maybe in the second league or something here that I would be open to because I didn't have a job. But I was able to watch Ritas at the time. At the time, there were some some coaches in Zalgiris who had been in the German league, and my agent helped set it up where I could watch their preseason and the first couple games of the season. Same with Ritas. So I was in Vilnius for about 5 weeks. Didn't get a job. Went to Germany, also looking for a job. Took me a couple months there, and then I was able to land one and then started winning games and got the next job. And yeah, that's kind of how it went. But I kind of put my career on the line and kind of bet on myself a little bit. And so that was the thing. It was nice to not be in the stands or that my career ended, because in coaching you never know. And that's why I was happy to be able to be here today. My friends from Lithuania came, and that was really nice.
So the plan was to coach a Lithuanian team?
I was open to coaching a Lithuanian team. I arrived in probably a little bit late to get a job, but I was open to coaching Lithuania at the time. I didn't have a job, so and I have a family. I have kids. So.
Did you have contact with some Lithuanian teams? Which ones?
Oh, you're gonna put me on the spot now. I talked to some coaches. There wasn't a lot of interest, and that's okay. I understand it. In this profession, you kind of need to know somebody. You have to network, and that's why I came. I came to Europe to network because I wanted to coach professional basketball. So. I also had a former player play in Šiluta, if I'm saying it right, in the second league. JJ Culver played here for a year, so I followed the league as well, second league, not just the first league. But there were a couple of teams, but really no major interest at that time. And again, I understand it.
So from trying to coach the second-tier Lithuanian league to coaching the EuroCup team, which is 3-0 now. How happy are you with your journey, and how happy are you now?
I'm very happy. I feel very blessed. Again, I said it earlier, like I was successful in Australia, I was successful in the US, and I think I somehow keep surrounding myself with really good people. I have great coaching staff in Ulm that take care of scouting and defense and everything, and in some way I can just focus on games, and I had the same thing at Ratiopharm. The last 2 years we promoted from the Pro A to the BBL, and then we're very successful in the BBL last season. I have a German agent who was my former teammate, Jan Rodewald, and I also, when I needed the visa, I coached in the 4th league in Germany for half of a season for a club that I used to play for. So I always tell our players, if you see somebody come into the stadium, go over and introduce yourself, because you never know in this sport when it's gonna come back and somebody can help you. And I feel some way lucky that I have the connections that I've had and I've landed where I've landed.
And I'm just curious, Coach, which your former teammate lives in Vilnius?
His name's Miklas Jasaitis, and his wife's name's Christina. Vingritti. I don't know if I say that. I hope I didn't butcher her last name. But they're lifetime friends. I actually introduced them, even though they both grew up in Vilnius. They met in college, and she was there first, and then Mikolas came, and I introduced them. But great people, and she was a professional player. I think she played on the national team a little bit, and Mikolas played some I think in the first league. Was a good player.
Any more questions? Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you, Coach.
All right.
We continue our press conference. Head coach of Twinsbet Vilnius, Mr. Alessandro Magro. Coach, please, your comment about the game.
For sure, Ulm deserved totally to win this game because the level of our energy respecting their level of energy is not enough. I mean, I think that we should stop talking if we consider 16 offensive rebounds, and they were able to almost destroy everything in defense. You know, the referee allow a very physical and dirty game, and we have to understand really quick which is the way to officiate the game, and we didn't get it. So, two things. First, we have to try to be more consistent, and everybody has to be involved on rebound, because if you see the stats, everybody got rebound. It's not just problem with one player that was, crashing the boards. And if you shot the ball 15 times less than the others, then it's tough to win games. At the end, in this club, we don't want to quit. Because we can lose games, we will lose again. Okay, we want to get ready to try to lose as less games possible, but we cannot give up, because we were in the game 3 possessions distance until some minutes to the end, and we cannot now talking in the press conference in a game that you lost by 20 points. So this is not acceptable.
Coach, you spoke a heated speech in the locker room after the game. What was the main message and why the tone was set high?
You mean at the end or the afternoon?
No, in the locker room. The speech.
At the end?
Yeah, after the game.
Exactly what I said. No, because now when you lose games, everybody can have his own thoughts. Everybody can think about everything. We didn't share the ball enough. We didn't set the screen. We were beat at 1-on-1. Nobody's covering me. Everybody's thinking about his own. And I would like to go home to understand that. First, we have to play with energy and effort, because then we can change even everything. And again, next game you can see different offensive and defensive system. I'm the first one that is responsible about that. We can fix that. We can try to work on that. We want to get better, but we cannot build over lack of energy and effort. Second thing is because we don't want to give up. So those are the two messages. Exactly what I'm telling you now.
So that lack of energy and lack of effort is the tendency in those 3 EuroCup games?
I think that is the first time that we really face a team that jumped on us. So probably, to be honest, it's the first time that we faced and played against a team that really tried to destroy everything. And every time, like I say, we want to take lesson from that. So we will work on that. When they try to destroy the first option, we have to go through the second and the third. Even the other EuroCup games were, talented team, but they didn't play so aggressive. And that's the reason why probably Ulm never lost a game from the beginning of the season. Because if you talk about names, probably are names that shining less than other teams, but they play together. And that's what you need, play defense and offense. So we, at least, when you, if you are sick and you don't know what you have, we know what we have and we will try to heal that.
Coach, so far you have the low numbers in rebounds. It seems you have problems under the basket on both sides. How could you explain that? And maybe you're looking for the addition to the team in that position?
About the second question, I just need to be focused on the players I have and try to squeeze everything from them. About rebounds, I told you, is a problem, and everybody took rebounds. So it's something that, and if you remember, especially in the first half, a lot of rebounds were long rebounds, not even, they shot a lot by 3 points, more threes than twos. Long rebounds, everybody has to be involved. So the level of the commitment, the level of the focus, and for sure is something that we have to fix. Like I told you, now we are talking. If you check the score and somebody didn't watch the game, you think there was a disaster. It was a bad game. It's not the kind of game that I expect. But everything happened in the last just because we gave up. Until we were up, down, 1 possession, 2 possession, you really talk about those kind of details. So once again, if the other team is shooting 15 times more than you, and is a team that scored 15 threes, at the end you lose games. And so we cannot give them so easy points. And on the other side, the best part of our game was after grabbing rebound going in transition. So if you don't grab the rebound, if you let the other score many times, then there are few chances for you to run and to find easy points. Are you following me?
Yes, of course. Coach, 4 serious tests, one against one in LKL, 3 in the EuroCup, all 4 lost. What is your current, how you feel as a coach? What is current mood in the team, and how I'm trying to lift the spirits up and lift the spirits up, the player spirits up?
Yeah, I think that the value of the persons as human being, you can check when the things are not going like you would like. Obviously, if you ask me if I'm happy, I'm not. I would like to be first in the standing in EuroCup and LKL. It's not happening. It's a part of my job to try to understand very quickly why, how, and try to work on that. But guys, like I already told you other times, it's a process. Probably I would like to say the best things usually come from struggling period. That struggling period is already arrived, and we have to try together if we have those kind of values that are not ability of shooting the ball, rebounding or passing the balls or whatever, if we are able to stick each other, because that's a moment where it could be really easy to try to separate each other. We have to try to stay everybody together.
Arnoldas Kulboka had a setback and will not play another month. How devastated you were when you heard that?
I mean, I wasn't happy. Obviously, even tonight, nobody's mentioning. And if you saw, I think I'm fair enough to don't mention that after losing this kind of game. But we didn't have Jogela. That was probably one of our best players in the last LKL game. So our rotation were really, really short with the guards. We overplayed some minutes, but I don't want to arrive to that point. You see, I didn't mention that. Obviously, we thought about a team where Kulboka should be at the 4th spot, a player that could help us. Now we know that we have to try to hold on and try to keep pushing with, like you say before, like I told you before, this team. We will wait for him. But what we need to do now is to focus on the players that are able to play.
Are you looking to add any player?
Microphone.
I didn't.
Second coach.
Yes.
Talking about the...
Yeah, you already asked that. If you want, I answer you again. Probably you didn't hear. I don't know, to be honest, because I didn't talk to anybody from the club. But now my job is to take care about the players that step on the court tonight. So my job is to try to help them to find a way to play better. I'm not saying we want. I'm not saying tomorrow we will. Now I'm focused on the reason why we gave up.
Talking about the breakdown in the final stretch, how team could avoid something like this, in the future? What could be reasons behind that? How team could avoid the breakdowns in the final stretch?
Okay, if I have all the answers to everything, probably we didn't lose the game by 20 points. But no, it's a good question. I'm joking. I think that, in basketball, sometimes we just split offense and defense, but everything is connected. So they put great pressure on us in a moment where we were really, really, or even leading the scoring, or close to them. I'm talking about 2 possessions. We missed 2 layups, 2 open shots. Then they put pressure. We played, to be honest, 3 or 4 bad possessions in a row, and coming back, the level of the energy, just because the frustration on not creating anything in offense, was something like connected. That's my feeling and what I can tell you now, and I didn't watch the game. So I just have everything in mind, but then I probably tomorrow morning after watching the game again, I can be sharper about that. And I have to find the solution very, very quick. But like I told you, I think that the level of the energy in offense and the problem that we could have in offense could be even affected by the bad possessions we had in the clutch time.
Could you give us any update on Vaida's situation?
He will be back soon.
You gonna be ready for next game?
I hope so. If not, I hope he will be ready for the next EuroCup game.
More questions?
Of course, having those 2 guards with Anthony and Andrew, one of the main strengths they have is the quick, fast break offense. And we saw some of those snippets today with Andrew making those three-pointers. And that's one of the things that where your offense is bright, vibrant, and solid. In other cases, I personally think I saw some indecisiveness in some moments and some oversharing at times, because there was a moment that Anthony raised his hand and apologized for his extra pass that he probably shouldn't have made. And how could you connect those two phases of the game, the fast break and the set offense, to ensure that the entire offense is more vibrant?
Okay, I told you before, the fast break is really connected to the ability to play defense. So you cannot run if you don't steal the ball or you don't grab rebounds. So obviously that, and I think we are quite good to try, and we are quite sharp to try to score in fast break. To be honest, I understand your point, but I prefer to talk and, let's say, work on detail if it's an extra pass instead of over dribbling. So I really would like that the players are sharing the ball a lot. Then could happen that like a couple of times we could have a better shot than passing the ball. I agree with you. But I prefer to have the problem that we pass the ball too much, then we don't pass the ball each other, or we spend too many dribbles. The other part is the quality of our, I used to say that, in my opinion, discipline and the level of execution is screens quality and spacing. And tonight they were good to destroy almost every coming off. We call a stagger, and we didn't get the ball off the stagger. We had the Iverson entry, we didn't get the ball off the Iverson entry. We tried to go dribble end-off, and they destroyed dribble end-off. We go zoom action, and they forced us to play out-court. I told you, it's the first time we really play against such an aggressive defense. We have very quick to take a lesson, because we have to be ready to play against this kind of defense.
Any more questions? Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.